used to play a game with myself in the jungle where, especially when we went on vacation somewhere, where I wouldn't bring my camera. Now, if it was a Maya site or something, I usually would, because I realized I might use these pictures later for like a lecture or something. But especially if it was like a trip to go rafting on the river or something like that, I wouldn't bring my camera because it was very philosophical, and I thought, I want to live this to the moment, right? I want to be in it and not have my camera in front of me. I want to just take in whatever it is to take in. And I remember doing that actually on a tremendously, brutally long bus ride in Belize. And what I was doing was, it was like game on game. Another game I used to play with myself is I would take like the longest bus ride possible to get to the farthest way out possible. Like, let's say I had 48 hours, of downtime. I'd just go to the most furthest reaches of Belize, check it out for an afternoon, get back on the bus and go back. Just for laughs, just to see. So I was doing that. And I had ended up on the Southern Highway. For those of you who don't know Belize, the Southern Highway, Belize really just has a handful of highways. And what those are is they are paved roads where there's basically enough room for, traffic to go both ways. Kind of a two-lane road. Two-lane paved road. There's sort of the Northern Highway, the Western Highway, the Southern Highway, right? And that's really it. So it's not this network of highways. There's really just a handful to kind of go up and down the entire country. I was on the Southern Highway, which is largely known as the least built up one of them all. It was a total dirt road when I was there. At the time, this would be in like the late 90s. And it's still kind of, in Belize, the South is kind of known as the furthest sort of reaches, the farthest kind of towns away from larger, cities and that kind of thing. The South is fairly cut off in a lot of ways. So I'm on this bus, and I'm taking it to Punta Gorda, which is the last town all the way down on the Southern Highway. And I had just a tough night on the bus, I wasn't really overtly sick or anything. I was just exhausted. I was a little under the weather, but I had gotten really tough sleep because on those buses, they're just school buses. They're just repurposed school buses. So I'd spent the entire night sleeping, like, how a school bus is, where you can just sort of lean on the next bench seat in front of you. And I just sort of leaned on that, which seemed to be vaguely not too bad because the people in front of me were doing the same thing and so on. And I remember I was sleeping, and I kind of had my backpack like in front of me, kind of leaned over on that. I didn't get much sleep. It was dark all night. It was dusty. And I remember that I was drooling. Like, just real. Like, if you need to drool, come see me. I was just bleh, and I'm just, as you do when you're exhausted. So I'm just tired. I finally get some sleep. And then I hear the sort of rumble of the bus stop. Right? And of course I don't have my camera, none of that stuff. I'm just living in the moment, drooling on a bus. And so the rumble of the stopped bus kind of jolts me awake because it'd been kind of, there's like a hum that sort of lulls you to sleep on the bus for a while, and it sort of rumbled to a stop to pick somebody up. Stops can be rare in a place like that. And I remember just kind of getting up and looking out, and I saw the most incredible sunrise I've ever seen. The sun just boiled up from the jungle. It was just this layer of green and then this layer of like orange yellow that just came out of the jungles below. It didn't even look like a ball. It looked like just this sort of plastic kind of stretched material as it stretched its way up above. the horizon. And I looked at it, and it was like the light of the sun just went like, oh, you know? And I was looking at it, and I'm sure my mouth was open, drool, you know, just like, oh my God. And then the bus door closed, there's that shh, and then the bus rumbled on. And I just like knocked back to sleep. So I'm happy I don't have a picture of that day, because I know the picture would not do it justice, right? The picture would just be like, oh, there's a sunrise, you know, so what? But man, I remember that moment of watching the sun boil up from the jungle floor. Take the bus.